You are listening to the Beaverton, North America's trusted source of news.
This week on the Beaverton, it's been 10 years since the Brexit referendum. To put it another way, a child born the day the vote happened is only 8 years away from being unable to get a job because of that vote. A Belgian soccer player attracted criticism for leaving the World Cup to be with his wife for the birth of their first child. Just checking, and yes, that is a story from this year and not the 1966 World Cup. And SpaceX's valuation fell 30% from its IPO high after investors remembered it doesn't actually do anything. That's right, it's time to make fun of the news once again on the Beaverton Weekly Report. Welcome to the show, everyone. So glad you are tuning in. I'm your host, Luke Gornfield, and joining me this week are two of our regular panelists, both of whom told me off mic they're the ones who keep ruining Trump's reflecting pool, Clare Blackwood and MacKay.
I just hate pools.
You just gotta piss in it, you know? You see, you piss, you leave.
So thousands and thousands of algae from one MacKay piss.
You guys don't know what I eat.
And I don't want to.
Is it algae?
It's delicious
so much
algae.
worse.
It becomes super algae as it passes through the system. I call it the system.
Good. I was wondering what you called your junk.
This is why I don't like public pools, because of this very reason.
Yeah, and I'm not allowed at many of them. So
That's why I had to go to DC.
I had to go to DC. That's the closest one now. I want to go for a dip. It's got to be that one, and it's green. You're welcome.
Well, we will get to that in the Patreon section a little bit later for our Patreon members. But let's dive with something a little more pressing and important, and maybe not quite as fun, which is let's hop across the pond to the UK. And Keir Starmer has resigned. Only I think 2-ish years since he was elected in the biggest landslide Labour has ever won. He is
Only? 2 years is a long time for them over there. Give him some credit.
You know what? I guess if you put it in Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss eras, it's like an epoch. Like he defined a generation.
That's what I'm saying.
So fair enough. I do want to talk about that, but quickly, do you think, even though it hadn't been that long by Canadian standards, do you think it was time for him to go? Did he have another way? Did he make the right decision here?
People really hate him over there. They really hate him in a way that I don't know that I've seen someone hate a politician before. I think it was time I think we would have had PM Nigel Farage if he didn't get the heck out of there in their next election, not mine, not my country. Hashtag not my country. No, right time.
Fair. I was trying to kind of unpack exactly what makes him so hated. Because you're right. And I think it's that combination of he was never liked. It was just the Conservatives were, it was like if Trudeau had hung around, the Conservatives were, like if Trudeau had hung around and we'd given Poilievre the majority that we would have, it wasn't because we liked Poilievre. It was just because we were done with the Trudeau-era Liberals. Now, I would argue they were doing some better stuff than what the Carney Liberals are doing, but the public disagrees with me on that, and that's fine. So it feels like the Conservatives were very much in that place where it's just like everyone was just done with them, and the way their politics works, similar to here, is, it's a multi-party system, but there's two governing parties, and when you're done with one, you go to the other one, and vice versa. And so no one loved him except for the right wing of the Labour Party. And so people turned to him, he got in, and then it's the second he started doing stuff they didn't like, they were just and we hate you more than we've hated anyone ever in our history.
I think that we as voters could use a little bit more of that. In politics in general. No. I think we could, this is not news for anybody who's ever listened to me talk about this, but I think we could stand to get mad at our politicians and hate them a lot more if they do stupid shit. Saying that you're going to abolish tuition fees and then take that back, or say that you're cutting 5.5 billion pounds from the welfare system. Keir.
You know what we needed after 15 years of Tory austerity? Some good old Labour austerity.
Yeah.
It is the expectations versus reality. You expect different because you're it's a different party. And even if you're not very politically literate, you're it's different. There is red. It's not blue. It's red.
And the other one was bad, so this one must be good.
Exactly. And then you get the same guy in and you're fuck this guy. You're even madder at him because you had an expectation of something different versus same old shit,
And similar to here, it's you have total, we're going to talk how it's a little bit different there and that their MPs have a lot more power. But, basically speaking from an agenda perspective, you have, when you get a majority government there, as in here, it's you can do whatever the fuck you want. And so this idea that it's we got to be this mealy-mouthed, well, we can't do what we want because, the budget and stuff. And it's just do the thing that makes people happy and just govern like you're a slightly progressive party instead of being like, well, we have to be Tory adjacent for no reason at all. No one is expecting that of you except for, I guess, Sky News.
Maybe they just don't want to make people happy.
Yeah, I mean, that not to go too far off topic, but like the thing that's the most interesting about watching people of all across the spectrum react to Zoran in New York is people being like, the reason he's so absurdly popular isn't necessarily left, right. It's just because like he is proving that every so-called progressive politician just could have done what all these things and just decided to sit on their hands because of reasons, and those reasons are probably rich donors and fear of Rupert Murdoch and Rupert Murdoch adjacent entities, et cetera, where it's like when you just abandon all of that, the power you can have as a progressive left of center mayor to get shit done, or prime minister, of course, which is even more powerful, is immense. But we all want to pretend our hands are tied by vague notions of fiscal responsibility and the idea that like, well, we have to, cut taxes. Why? Who's on the rich? Why do you have to cut taxes on the rich? No one said that. You're not the cut taxes on the rich party. There's no way you can cut taxes on the rich enough to make the rich like you. They're always going to go for the other guys. So why are you trying to please people who you can never please instead of standing up for the people who actually support you? Yeah. And Keir Starmer, that plus he had a very punchable face. I mean, we can't ignore the punchable face part. Very punchable face, very annoying voice. Weirdly similar Poilievre vibes, even though obviously he's a nominal left of center and Poilievre's a right of center guy. Like, the vibes check is a huge part of it. And
it is. I mean, look at Zoran Mandani.
Yeah.
The man has the opposite of a punchable face. He has a kissable face.
His face must hurt from smiling all the time.
Oh, man. But it feels so, good, and it feels like he's not faking it. He's just perfect. He's just like riding his little bike down the street and waving at people, and the birds are flying onto his shoulders like he's a Disney princess. It's just nice.
I know. I don't think either of you two are big basketball fans, but did you see any of the clips of the parade the Knicks had after they won and the speeches people were giving?
No.
So the New York Knicks are owned by a legendarily terrible owner named James Dolan, who's a big Trumpy. He also owns the Sphere in Las Vegas, and so he hates Mamdani with a passion, and they've already had wars of words over things throughout Mamdani's tenure, especially about free viewing parties for the Knicks. Anyways, but as part of the fact that they won the championship for the first time since the 70s, Mamdani gave Dolan and his kid, who was also the owner or co-owner, keys to the city. And Dolan just tried to grab it out of his hand and not take a photo with him. And then gave the most petulant speech ever about I don't need your vote, so I don't need to make a speech like Mamdani did. But you're guys real Knicks fans, so and just the most petulant child who's everyone hates Mamdani, right? Because he's talked to 4 Fox News correspondents who hate Mamdani, and realizing in real time that these people who are there because his team has won a championship hate him and love Mamdani. Thoroughly enjoyable viewing if you get a chance.
Oh, that's delightful.
But there also are great clips too of Mamdani, just because and this is just a natural thing. It's not a criticism of him. But anytime you go from that wide a smile to not smiling, you look furious. So there are great clips of him going from just that megawatt smile to not smiling, and it being does he want to murder the person he's talking to right now? What just happened? Anyways, back to the Brits. My next question, and you touched on this, Claire, which is, the fact that they have, since Brexit and especially in the last 6 years, just had so many short-term prime ministers. What is it about the UK where they just can't hold on to a PM?
I have a conspiracy theory about this.
Please.
Yes. I like to think that they're all being secretly blackmailed by the royal family, who want to go back to the days before the 1700s when they had total control and power.
That sounds right.
Right?
Yeah, that sounds. I have no counterproof, so that's probably what's happening.
Yeah, take us back to 1700s, baby.
We're just undoing the English Civil War through Liz Truss memes.
Yes.
That lettuce was a psyop.
This is so ripe for conspiracy theories. I love it. Yeah.
I like that.
Well, they also just elect a lot of incredible shitheads. It's just a lot of people who suck. And I think that I don't know all of their resumes intimately, but I do think the more time you spend in politics, the more you sort of get in your head about the political game of politics rather than actual public service. And so, Mamdani is a great example of he wasn't in politics and now he's in politics and he's actually doing stuff. I think the longer you're I'm a career politician, the harder it is for you to not care about the next election and not care about winning over more voters and having a bigger majority and caring about that Moneyball stuff that who ultimately the average person does not give a shit. And so a lot of these British politicians are upper crust from fancy schools and fancy little guys who want fancy little jobs. They're not necessarily people who want to do the stuff. They're just little Lord Fauntleroys, you know?
I do love the idea of the UK being premised, the UK being like a fancy little job.
It's a fancy little job. That's what it is.
Fancy little bow ties.
It's adorable.
Yeah.
It's great. It's like you're back to your Eton days or whatever the hell. Yeah.
Mummy, I got a fancy little job in a fancy little shop on Downing Street.
It comes with a cat.
I didn't know about that until this week. One of our Patreon members pointed out
Really?
that there's an official cat of Downing Street who's the Ratter or something like
Yeah,
that.
he's been around for so many years.
That's not the same. There's no way that's the same.
He's a really cute old cat. I think he's quite old.
It's an 80-year-old cat, Megan.
It's like
Yeah.
Wyerton Willie's the
They
same
exist.
freaking groundhog.
And my cat's gonna live to that age too.
Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing that is interesting to watch, because we think of Canada as just like we copy and pasted the UK parliamentary system, but for whatever reason, their MPs, even though there's so many more of them, which you think would dilute their individual power, just have so much more power to remove party leaders. And I know there's some element of that here, like if Olive Poilievre's MPs came out tomorrow and released a statement being like, go, he'd be in a pretty untenable position. But that just seems to happen so less here, whereas we've seen over and over again, like the biggest thing that in the recent years that causes UK politicians to leave is not losing an election, it's losing the support of their parliamentary constituency, which on some level makes a ton of sense if you think about parliamentary theory 101, but it's just so kind of foreign to us, where like Carney is caught on a hot mic this week talking to I forget which leader, talking to a leader being like, MPs, they're good for votes. Like just being like clearly like, I run this game and my MPs are my employees who report to me.
Yikes.
And I give them performance reviews, and maybe if they're good at Christmas, they get like an extra $500 bonus or something. Like that level of like just like arrogance that frankly, I mean, Trudeau was pretty similar to that. Chrétien was famously a lot like that. Martin, even though he kind of fell eventually to Paul Martin and his coterie of guys, like none of them really seem to have any kind of inclination that they are working for the MPs. Whereas in the UK, it seems to be very much like the leader reports to us. Yeah,
and I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense. Like if you should be beholden to the people who got you into power and the people below you. That's always pissed me off. It's kind of like what we used to talk about when all the people were switching sides and switching to the Liberals. And I'm like, they should hold new elections because, like, if you go into power saying, I'm going to do this thing, and then you don't do the thing, I think people should be able to get rid of you.
Yeah, bring back the guillotine.
Yes.
What's wrong with that?
Yes.
Just a little A to B point. Like, we should have new by-elections.
Guillotine the little Fauntleroys.
You've seen the little Fauntleroys, and then they're too skilled. They're going to shit their little nickel-bread knickerbockers. They're called the little shorts, the cute little shorts. They're going to poop them, and then they're going to do what I say, because it's my guillotine, and I'm renting it to everyone.
You got a fancy little job as a guillotine operator.
Yes, and I love it.
You would be the cutest
so
little
rewarding.
guillotine operator.
Thank you. Oh my God, that's like the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. That's so nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna glow all day. Did you hear what she said?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You'd look great with blood on your hands.
Oh my God.
My God, that's even better.
Stop. You guys are
Damn.
I didn't know this was like the Megan Flattery podcast all of a sudden. Oh my God.
It can be both. We can talk about murdering our political opponents and flattering you at the same time, apparently.
Because they're very similar in activity, yeah.
Both unquestioned positives. Yeah, it's fascinating the way, because like, again, in theory I agree, but then in practice, looking at the chaos that they've been in for 6+ years now, where elections seem meaningless compared to the day-to-day support of the MPs, it does result in one of those things where I'm like, but how do you not have a system where you're just turfing your PM every couple of months? And probably this is just a particularly turbulent period. I don't think the UK is always going to be like this. I would hope, but you never know. But it does seem kind of theoretically good, and in practice just like really not good for the stability of your country, that your PM is just like in one day, out the other.
That's fair, but I will say counterpoint. If your PM is very popular with the general public and with the people of the country, it's going to be a lot harder for those MPs to be like, get out of here, daddy, we want a new daddy. Like, it's going to be harder for them to elect a new daddy in that circumstance. Yeah. So it's
always hard to elect a new daddy.
It's so hard to elect a new daddy, but don't even get me started. But it's like, if you have a very popular PM, it's going to be a lot harder for that system to continue to be cyclical like that.
Which is why, they didn't, as much as I think he'd pissed a lot of them off, they didn't actually make a move on him until after the result of what their version of because they don't have provinces, their version of provincial elections, the town council elections, the city council and local authority elections happened, and Labour, which is unlike here, is done by party vote, and Labour got absolutely trounced, and Reform and Green Party took, thousands and thousands of seats away from Labour in constituencies around the country. So obviously that was the biggest impetus. And then the rise of this guy, the Manchester mayor, winning a by-election, and who's presumably going to be the next PM.
I really misheard that as Manchester mayor.
Yeah,
I would
Manchester
love
mayor.
that. That's what the British royal family is trying to get. They're trying to get their little jester into power.
A little guy with jingle bells.
Yes.
It's time.
I mean, yeah, he can be the mayor of Manchester and have little jingle bells. But to that point about popularity, Carney is essentially very similar to Keir Starmer, right? He's a right of center guy wrapped up in a nominally left of center package, even though I think everyone in the world sees right through that. So why did Keir Starmer's popularity collapse almost instantly once he got into power, whereas we're a year plus into Carney and he's still going strong, even as he clearly does similar policies in terms of austerity, cutting taxes for the wealthy, et cetera, et cetera.
I wonder if we're just kind of, because they are so used to flipping the script quite often, it just becomes reactionary, and we are not a reactionary country. I think we're used to just being well, that guy got in power. Okay, I guess it's going to be a couple more years and then we can get rid of him. And I think we're just maybe a little bit more patient because I think maybe if we did start electing people and kicking them out and electing people and kicking them out, we would get more used to it and be a little bit more trigger happy. But I think we're just kind of, and it's also, I also think they don't have Trump actively threatening to invade them. And thus, there isn't that pressure to stick with somebody.
And default to the party that's usually seen as the governing party. So when you want stability, you turn to the Liberals because that's who's usually been in power. That's a very good point, Claire.
And it might be enough for Canadians that there's we're seeking change. It's a different guy. You know what I mean? It's the same party, but it's a different guy, and he's very different from Trudeau. Trudeau was super hot and a big perceived as very more progressive than he actually was. I think on the ground he was perceived as very progressive. Mark Carney is not perceived as he's very much. I think people are seeing that he is kind of an austerity right wing guy in a red hat. And that might feel like enough change for people who just want change. They just want something different, and they don't necessarily care as long as it's not the other guy that they decided they didn't like anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think if Starmer had come in in the wake of a by all appearances left of center Labour Party that had been in power for a while, and they switched and went to Starmer to be the more moderate, centrist guy, I think that would have come in. He would have had a lot more longevity as opposed to replacing conservatives with just more what conservatives do anyways.
Yeah, because they, like you said, they've been in austerity for a bajillion years, and it's oh great, this guy sucks because it's just more. It's the same thing. We wanted something different, and you just gave us the same freaking bubble and squeak that we've been ordering this whole time. I wanted
same old bubble and squeak.
Yeah, exactly. I want to toad in the hole.
Remind me what that is again. Do I want to know?
I don't fucking remember. I don't know. Someone, hit up the comments and tell me what the hell that is. I forget.
I know it's something gross. I just can't remember what it is.
It's beans and some. I don't know. My dad's British. He's never gonna listen to this, but it's fine. I'll ask
Megan's
him later.
dad, right into the Patreon and tell us what bubble and squeak is, and if you're eating it currently.
Probably, statistically, probably, yeah. Seems right.
All right. Well, enough about the UK. Let's talk about a few domestic stories. There's kind of three, I think, big-ish stories that we want to talk about this week. The first one is that Rogers has officially killed Hockey Night in Canada. They might save the brand name and just use it if they license it from CBC. But essentially, the idea of Hockey Night in Canada being the show on CBC Saturday nights that anyone could watch is over. Rogers and CBC have ended their partnership that saw Rogers license NHL content to CBC to air on Hockey Night in Canada. Now, if people want to watch hockey on Saturday nights, they will, just like they have to do every other night of the week, pay for a Sportsnet subscription or pay to watch it on one of the local channels if it's a local game. So, I know I'm obviously a big hockey fan. I know you guys are not so much. So I want to get your perspective first. As non-hockey fans, what was your reaction to the story? Does it matter to you? Does it seem important? Or is it just, another hockey story?
I mean, we can talk about this, but we can't talk about the new Labubus coming out this week. It just kind of doesn't feel right to me.
Are Labubus integral to the development of Canadian culture?
No, they have wigs now, Luke, and they're coming out on June 26th on Pop Mart's app, and I'm losing my mind. They all have little wigs. And this is hockey's done. Whatever, that's fine. They have little wigs. One of them has like a little pink. This Mococo is being released out of China for the first time, Luke. This is huge global news. We don't get a Mococo. That's a China exclusive, and now there's a Mococo in this freaking set.
What's a Mococo?
A Mococo is a Labubu who is pink, and she has a heart-shaped nose, and she's really cute.
None of the other ones are pink?
No, well, it's the heart-shaped nose. It's really
it's the heart-shaped nose.
You seem disdainful.
Sorry.
The heart-shaped nose.
Look, you got to give me some credit for not cutting you off a long time ago.
I was expecting it. It's kind of nice.
I asked 2 follow-up questions.
Okay, thank you. That's an appropriate amount of interest in my interest. That's fine. We can talk about whatever your thing was now.
And my question wasn't, this is very important, we must talk about it. My question was, is this important?
What was it? Can you repeat that? Sorry, what was it?
My question is, as non-hockey fans,
Sure.
does this story matter to you? Do you think this matters to Canadians as a whole, or is this just a sports story that if you're not into sports or not into hockey, doesn't really cross into that, general knowledge area?
I'm actually surprised, maybe because I'm not embroiled in the hockey world, but I was actually surprised it wasn't a bigger story. Like, that to me, I went, ugh, I don't like that at all. Now, I have a follow-up question, which was, like, who canceled the deal? And why? Do we know?
I mean, they released a joint statement saying it's a mutual decision. However, I would be willing to bet quite a lot of money that this was a Rogers move, because they're like, when they got the exclusive rights to the NHL and took it from CBC, their way of making this palatable was to do a deal with CBC where you could still one night a week watch hockey for free. You didn't need a Rogers subscription or a Sportsnet subscription. You didn't need to pay for TSN to watch Leafs local games. You could still watch one night a week hockey for free, either if you have cable on your general package, if you have an antenna, CBC comes in, or if you have the internet, you can watch it for free on CBC Gem. So like that was their kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. That was their kind of like paving the ground for this. Like, I don't think they were ever planning on keeping that in place long term.
Oh, interesting.
I think they were always like, this is how we make this palatable in the short term.
Okay.
And then once people are used enough to this being Rogers' thing, then we can get rid of the CBC altogether.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of feel like we're slowly running out of free shit.
Yep.
And I think free shit is important. Like, to be perfectly honest, it's like this the same way that people make the argument that, like, there are very few things to do in the city that are free anymore.
No third spaces.
No third spaces. And so, I mean, that's kind of like a digital third space that people are used to. And, I don't care about hockey, but what other CBC shows is Rogers going to try to poach? I'm joking, but, like, I think it just made me a little sad because it's just monetizing everything. And I think just as Canadians, it's so iconic. And I was just like, I'm surprised that more people aren't mad about this.
Yeah, I mean, I think to your point, that's like, that was Rogers' plan in action, was like, people are going to be so numb to the fact that this is happening because it's been so clearly moving this way for so long that there won't be as big a backlash as there would be if it went right from every week is CBC and Hockey Night in Canada to it's all Rogers right away. The fact that it was like the last decade it's been Rogers or CBC presents Rogers, Hockey Night in Canada, whatever, like Rogers presents CBC, Hockey Night in Canada, whatever it's been, like the fact that Rogers has had their foot in this door for a decade allowed them to close the door on CBC.
Like, do you not have enough money, Rogers? Like, do you not?
Ed Rogers needs to pay for more trips to Mar-a-Lago and more plastic surgery to fully get Mar-a-Lago face.
Well, I mean,
They took down the statue in front of the Rogers Center to save money for a bigger statue.
that's good. That's how you do it. You have to bank the old statue to earn enough money to get the new statue.
He's going to be standing on top of the retractable roof.
That's good.
Just his legs go akimbo as the roof.
You get like a nice shot of his taint every time the door's open.
Like a giant Claude Van Damme kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. He's just full bed JCVD doing it at the end, like when he's between those two trucks. They're like, oh, it's a nice day, unless you happen to be in the shadow of the ball sack.
In the shadow of the ball sack.
The Ed Rogers story. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, my 2 cents as a hockey fan would be that, like, everything you just said, Claire, is so accurate, and I presume everything you said about Labubu's Megan is accurate too.
It
But
is.
the thing that's sad about it, in addition to just like how much money does Rogers need, is for hockey fans in this country, we are obsessed with the idea of how do you grow the game. Both on how do you get more people wanting to play the game so that we can continue being the best in the world at it. Obviously, we lost the Olympics this year in a game we should have won and we're the better team by far, but still, we lost the Olympics. We didn't win
Typical
gold.
Canadian sports.
But yeah, exactly. Very similar to Blue Jays vibes. But so like, that concern of why, what if we're not the best in the world? America has such a bigger population. Kids aren't playing hockey at the same rates they used to because it's so expensive and because there's other sports and other interests. How do we grow the game? And also, how do we grow the game from a viewership perspective? And how do we make it so that this league, which we all think is the best league in the world, or the best sport in the world at least, becomes more popular? And we don't see a shrinking in viewership and a shrinking in players. And the worst way to do that is put everything behind a paywall.
Yeah, especially
And-
because hockey games are expensive to go to. Like
So expensive.
I'm not going to go to a hockey game. Like I'm not going to pay the money to go to a hockey game. I might watch it if it's free on TV and my friends are watching it, and that might make me think, oh, that's interesting. Maybe I'll keep watching. Maybe I will go to a game. Like that's why baseball is so accessible, because the tickets for the most part are really friggin' cheap.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. That's a solid point where you can't gain a viewer base if you've priced them out.
Yeah, like I think so many, growing up, I knew so many people who weren't into hockey and then didn't play hockey growing up like I did. But then around 12 or 13, one team or whatever, maybe it was the Leafs, maybe whatever, would do well and they'd start watching a little bit here and there. And then a couple years later, they'd be really big fans of hockey. And I don't think that works as well in a world where it's yeah, I mean, maybe you can see maybe you see a clip pop up on your reels of Austin Matthews scoring a goal or whatever, or Connor McDavid doing something cool. But that's not the same as being oh, I was at a house party and there was a hockey game on CBC because it's Hockey Night in Canada Saturday night, and I looked over my shoulder and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then my friends, blah blah. There's so many ways people can get into the game, and this isn't the only way, but it's cutting off your biggest source of advertising, which is being able to watch the game. Because as a hockey propagandist, I'll say, I think anyone who watches hockey, more than once will at least be that was fun. I'm not saying they'll be diehard fans or whatever, but I think people who will see hockey being played either in person or on TV will be that is an exciting sport to watch. It might not become their favorite sport, whatever. But I think enough people where if you get them watching hockey will like hockey that, percentage-wise, you will gain more fans than you're losing through attrition and people, dying, frankly, which is, people aging out of being hockey fans because, back in the day there was only one sport.
Well, because they're in heaven now.
Yeah, they're in heaven.
Playing hockey.
Playing hockey with Gordie Howe,
Like on a $5 bill. That's an old $5 bill. That's crazy.
Yeah, and maybe that's me being, arrogant about how good the sport of hockey is, but I genuinely believe people who watch hockey, a significant portion of them, or at least a decent portion of them, will become fans of hockey. But if they can't watch the game and they're not going to sign up to pay to watch something they've never watched, you're just cutting off your nose to spite your face. But I think the NHL and obviously Rogers care a lot less about that than they do about making bank off those of us who are already here.
Correct.
I think you're totally bang on, and I feel very similarly about Labubus. Once you pop, you can't stop. You need
they
to
used
pop
to be
the
free
first one.
Labubus. There was free Labubus available.
Democratized free Labubu.
Available through
Labubu
the,
night in
through
Canada.
the public
Labubu night in
broadcaster.
Canada. There's one that looks like Drew Barrymore in Scream with a little bob and a little sweater, and I can't wait.
Was there a Don Cherry Labubu who was racist towards all the other Labubus, but it was kind of palatable for long enough until one day he crossed the line?
He also had a heart nose.
That's Momo. He's different.
Right.
But he's a bit of a hater. He's a bit of something's not right with Momo. I still love him though.
Yeah, I mean, we all love Don Cherry.
I wish they just brand things like that, just being it's the racist Labubu.
We ran out of jobs, so now we're just going to horrible caricatures.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. I would have to collect it. I'm sorry. I would have to. I have to. I'm sorry.
Well, another story that's making news, although similar to the Hockey Night in Canada thing, I think would benefit from a bigger controversy. Maybe it's not getting as broad attention because it's more of a local story. Is that the Carney government announced that they will essentially be backstopping condo developers in BC with a ton of our tax money.
$3 billion of it, in fact.
Thank you. And they are going to be buying up unbought condos and turning them into affordable housing. I could maybe make the point that those condos might be more affordable if the developer was willing to take less money, and so we shouldn't just give them a lot of money. But you know what? I'm a crazy leftist. So, Claire, I know you already wrote a great article about this on the site today, so everyone should check it out on thebeaver.com. But to get your take verbally, do you think this is more about creating affordable housing or bailing out developers?
I want to know what Mark Carney thinks is an affordable price for a condo before I fully make up my mind on this. And, you know, one of those, like, how much could a banana cost? $10 kind of thing? Yeah. Because sometimes they're like, it's affordable. It's only $3,000 a month now. And then I die a little inside. I mean, yeah, he's got to bail out the development because they've got to keep the housing market level because all the old people with their houses don't want to see them plummet in price. And I don't think that they're buying the condos for cheap. I think they're buying them at market rate. And it's just, I don't know.
Well, I would say above
somebody got
market
mad at my
rate, 'cause the problem is they can't sell them at market rate.
Somebody got mad at my satire today because they're like, well, what do you guys want? Like, you say that you want social housing, and now he's giving you affordable social housing. And I'm like, I think it's more complicated than that. But, you know, that's their opinion, and they're allowed to have it. But, like, I don't think my tax dollars should be going towards rich developers who refuse to lower housing costs.
Well, and it is propping up the market, right? To
Yes,
sell
it
these
is.
at above market value, even though like everyone should have an affordable place to live. I fully agree with that. But if you're buying these units, overpriced units, and turning them into affordable housing, the people you are squeezing are the people who don't qualify for affordable housing, but also cannot afford to buy a home in this economy, in this market. So like, you're helping people who need a home. Yes, but there's a whole ton of people right in the middle class who are like, you're continuing to, like, the bar just keeps getting higher and higher every year, and I can't get there. And by propping up this market, you are perpetuating that, basically, you know, ad infinitum. So a few people benefit, but, like, the market really does need more of a correction than it's gone through, I would say, over the past couple of years.
And, like, for a prime minister who espouses the glories of, you know, free markets, like, the whole point of free markets is limited to no government interference.
Yeah, it's it's the idea of like, well, the free market entails risk and blah blah blah, but not for condo developers. Like there should be no risk for that.
No, it's a free market, and the free means you're all free to die from lack of housing.
Yeah, it's to me, it's the classic of like, he's trying to have his cake and eat it too. He's trying to split the difference and coming out nowhere, where it's like he doesn't want to just build housing. Like, this $3 billion, God, that's so much money, could be used to build way more housing on our land, either the government already owns or the government could acquire, and could just build housing. But because that's seen as like a communist idea, government housing, oh my God, like, you could build so much more housing and put so many more people in houses who need them and create true affordable housing with that money. But obviously that would not help the developers anyway. If anything, you could argue because there's now less people in the system desperately clawing for rental housing because they've got affordable housing, you know, rental and condo prices would come down even further. So like, he's trying to do two things at once. He's trying to create affordable housing and prop up developers. And in the process, he's just splitting the difference and ending up nowhere. And you know, obviously if I, you know, had my druthers, I would say, the developers took a risk.
Yes.
They've been making money hand over fist in Vancouver, especially for, you know, since longer than any of us have even been alive, without really any dips, except I guess maybe in the early 90s there was a bit of a dip. But for the most part, they've been making millions upon millions of dollars every year. So this is a year where they lose some money and have to sell a unit that they wanted to sell for, I don't know, I'm using numbers here, 800 for 450. And like, that's a big drop. Don't get me wrong. But like, you know, maybe on that they lose, I don't know, $50,000 a unit. And it's like, compared to how much they've been making for decades.
Like, how much did it cost you to make that?
Yeah,
building,
I mean, like,
you
they
know,
would argue, like, oh, taxes and regulations, it costs so much to build, and that's the Polyev argument of, we don't need to build affordable housing, we just need to cut all the taxes and fees and stuff. And, like, you know, I can see some argument for cutting certain, you know, like, in Toronto, we have the double land transfer fee, and you can see some argument for cutting that as being a way to bring prices down. I'm willing to entertain more right-wing ways of doing this, but the fundamental thing with affordable housing is just build fucking houses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you look at every Scandinavian country, it's like, you know, their housing, their especially the unhoused community, the numbers have dropped so much, and it's like, what complicated scheme did they do? Oh, they just built fucking houses and helped people get into them.
400 square foot shoe boxes.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. It's just the developers took a risk. The market said no.
Yeah.
Suck it up.
Well, and the crux of that is those shoe boxes, like those units were purpose-built for investors. They were not
Yeah.
purpose-built to be lived in, right? So they doubled their gamble by saying, not only are we going to build something, we're going to build something for speculative investment, and we're going to assume that this market is going to carry on forever, and that, a middle-class boomer is going to want to buy a unit for their kids or for, renting or something like that.
Yeah. Or even more so, it's people abroad who are just investing
Yes.
in it and not putting anyone in it, and they're just sitting empty. Yeah.
Exactly. And so they took a double risk on that. And like the reality is the people who own these units had no intention of ever living in them themselves. They're awful units to live in. And it's like, I don't know. That also adds a level of shittiness to it where it's like, we're going to take these people who've been struggling for this long to get a home. We're going to be like, here's your home. It's a piece of shit. It sucks. Enjoy. Like, I know it's better than nothing, but like it's that also feels a little bit gross to me. I don't know. Purpose-built housing feels like a much more sound thing to be doing with that money.
Yeah, but I mean, again, that's, and I think Carney's original plan for housing did involve just the government building housing, and that is, similar to what we just talked about with Starmer. That is so clearly something he said that he's not going to follow through on.
No.
At least in the big cities. Maybe he'll do some actual building in more rural areas, but in the big cities, it's clearly going to be, oh yeah, we're doing it. We're partnering with developers and backstopping the market and blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. And exactly like you said, Claire, because the boomers who voted for me don't want to see their net worth drop, even though it's just on paper and it doesn't impact their daily lives. They don't want to see their net worth drop 20%. Now housing has come down, since its COVID peak. And like that is something to celebrate, but as you said, it's come down to just a level where it's just like it's maybe attainable for like 5% more people as opposed to like the 20 to 30% more people that we need.
Yeah, like it's so ludicrously wildly unattainable for the average person.
Yeah.
Like unless you stop bailing people out, I feel like that's not going to change.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the big cities, Toronto, Vancouver have been so unaffordable for so long. Seeing the graph finally go down a little bit, obviously, is great for people who are looking for a home. But it's that just close enough to be just out of reach, as opposed to before it was like absurdly out of reach. Now it's like, oh, I can almost feel like maybe I can get there if I stack enough debt on top of my existing debt. And and it's so unfair to so many people, and this obviously won't change any of that. But it's $3 billion, and that's what they're doing. Well, let's talk about another situation that I would describe as a minor controversy this week, which is the Winnipeg Human Rights Museum, which is an amazing museum. If you're in the Winnipeg area, you have to go.
It sounds so cool.
It is
I looked
awesome.
it up and I was like, this looks wonderful.
It's amazing, and the architecture is like, even if you didn't want to go inside, like just the architecture outside is amazing, but the inside, is phenomenal, and it's like, such a thing that Canada needs to have and should have. The Human Rights Museum is under fire for an exhibit about the Nakba and the displacement of Palestinians in Israel, both in history and in present day, obviously in the West Bank. So there were two kind of like related controversies. Obviously, people who are very pro-Israel have been furious about this since it was announced, and have been looking for ways to raise a stink about this, and they have now found two different things. The first, and this was brought up by National Post, of course, but also Michael Chong in Parliament, accusing the museum of a secret meeting with the Palestinian representative in Canada. So one thing to quickly debunk, it wasn't a secret meeting. The Palestinian representative posted about it on her Instagram, was very public about the fact that she was going to meet with
I post about all of my secret meetings on Instagram. Nobody reads Instagram.
Sorry, I forgot it was a Finsta. I did forget it was a Finsta. It's just a stock photo. But yes, it was not a secret meeting, but the National Post made it out like it was some big conspiracy, and that obviously that resulted in a question being asked, a question period. But that leads to, I think, a slightly broader question, which is, should a human rights museum not meet with representatives of the people it is doing an exhibit on, it is covering?
I think we should also be asking, under what circumstances do museums need to be having these secret meetings? And I think stealing the Declaration of Independence. I think there's something up with the Mona Lisa again. Like, we probably shouldn't let that out of the bag.
Is there a wild Indiana Jones?
Is there a wild Indiana Jones? Is he stuck? Did he get his head stuck in a freaking pot somewhere and we need to go save his ass or whatever?
Did the boulder finally get him?
Did the boulder finally get him? And then the other thing is, like, do the exhibits come alive at night? Like, you would want that to be secret too, right? That's kind of the only reason you would need to meet with anyone secretly as a museum.
I can't believe how many pop culture references you managed to work into one sentence. That was truly impressive.
Museums. I loved museums as a kid. I did not go outside. I did not play sports. I went to museums.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Hockey Hall of Fame? No, I'm just kidding.
I basically live at the Rock. prom, so I feel you.
It's so nice.
It's so
Look at the
great.
big dinosaurs. I miss the old dinosaur exhibit though, when they had like fake flesh and were anatomically incorrect and
Yum,
looked
yum,
awful.
yum.
I love those. Those were great. Anyway, there's no reason to have a fake. You don't need to have a secret meeting unless it's those things.
Yeah, unless you're trying to actively make the museum seem bad and evil, which I'm not surprised that Michael Chung is doing that.
Yeah, I mean that's clearly the undercurrent of it. It's like
Yep.
they're meeting with these evil Palestinians, and it's like trying to hint at maybe like, oh, they're meeting with Hamas. It's like, no, this is fully not a terrorist.
That is what
regular
people are
Palestinian
saying
who's a
online, though.
Yeah, I know, because
Wild.
if you're like a pro-Israel zealot, you hear Palestinian, you say Hamas.
Yes.
And it's like, no, of course that's ridiculous. That's like saying you hear Israel, you think Ben Gvir or Smotrich or Netanyahu or any of those monsters. Like, it's an absurd thing to say, to lump everyone in. This person has this Palestinian representative, who I apologize, I'm forgetting her name, but she has no ties to any terrorist organization. She's a duly chosen representative. She's just like any other diplomat. She's touring an exhibit about her country and about her people, and maybe giving feedback, maybe not. I don't even know if she did give feedback. If she did, what would be the problem with that? Like, would we have a problem with someone from Rwanda giving feedback on an exhibit on the Rwandan genocide? Like, of course not. We would be like, yeah, that's an interesting,
Great.
Let's get local people's input. When did that become a bad thing when we're talking about history and present day? Other than, of course, we're talking about a situation that people want to, use to their own political ends.
Yes.
The other thing that happened just a day or two ago was board member Mark Berlin resigned, accusing the exhibit of not including details like the fact that Arab countries invaded Israel upon its founding, or that Jewish people were expelled from Arab countries. Did you agree with his criticisms, or does this seem like another example of like that litmus test that people who advocate for Palestinians and Palestinians themselves have to pass before they can acknowledge that Palestinians have suffered?
I think if the exhibit was called something like The Entire History of Arab Peoples with a Focus on Their Interaction with Israel, then I think that would be a fair criticism. That is not what the exhibition is about.
Yes.
You cannot include the history of everything tangentially related to one topic in an entire, I think it's like 12 meter long exhibition. Like, this is a trite comparison to make, but it's like when people went to see Hamilton and they're like, but why didn't they talk about like this other thing that was happening at the exact same period of time? And like, because that's not what the musical's about.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's about this. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with everything that Hamilton is. I loved Hamilton, but like, you can't expect one exhibit of one specific thing to talk about everything else.
Yeah, it also does that classic thing of it, and this is a very Israeli attitude, but of Palestinians aren't a unique people. They're just Arabs. They're just a part of the Arab community. And so the fact that Jordan and Egypt invaded Israel has something to do with Palestinians because they're all Arabs. And it's like, no, those are not, like, yes, okay, they speak Arabic, I get it, but like, it's one of those things where it's like, what is what Egypt did in response to Israel, or what happened to Jews in Algeria have anything to do with the suffering of Palestinians, other than, of course, you want to create this dynamic where it can't just be about Palestinians. It has to be about Palestinians and Israelis on equal terms, and never suggest that Palestinians have been treated uniquely unfairly.
Yeah, and the museum itself addressed this, and they were just they have done exhibitions on anti-Semitism in the past, and they have vowed to do more of them in the future.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody deserves space. Everybody deserves space to talk about their own trauma and past.
100%. Yeah, it's sorry, Meg.
I just was going to say, I think I solved peace in the Middle East, but that's fine. What were you going to say?
No. I had to think about Labubus.
I knew it.
Missed
Please.
it. I think that we should get a boat stuck in the Strait of Hormuz. And listen to me here. So remember when the Ever Given was stuck in the Suez Canal, and
Yes.
everyone was watching that boat. I didn't know you could watch boats on phones until that happened. Huge.
Yeah.
Billionaire done explode they freaking submarine. We all lost our minds trying to find those guys. And what were they looking at? The Titanic, another boat nightmare. So I feel like the world,
It's all coming together.
It's like, if we can get a boat so fucking stuck in the Strait of Hormuz that we need everyone to come together to get that thing out of there.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that might fix things. I feel like we'll come together and it'll be like, wow, maybe the real stuck boat was our prejudices this whole time. And then we're going to walk away from it and we're going to be like, we're one race, we're the human race, we're the boat race, we love boat. Like, We're all the boat religion. Like we just unite as humanity once and for all. I don't know how to get the boat stuck. But I think once it's stuck,
I think you just kind of turn it sideways. It's
I
pretty
think
narrow
that's
straight,
another thing the museum would have secret meetings about.
there we go. How to get the boat stuck. But like getting it out, that would be huge. I would write a blog about that for sure. I'll tell you right now. I think it's the way.
What a 2012 statement. I would definitely blog about this.
Blog about it. I just would. It's so compelling. How the boat gets stuck, how unstuck. What
Whose
on
boat is it?
Whose boat is it? Who's on first, third base? All of these things, all these questions. And so I wanted to float that idea like a boat, but not the boat that gets stuck because it would be stuck. It wouldn't be floating. It would be stuck in the land. So I was just saying. Just something to think about.
Yeah, and once we solve peace in the Middle East, maybe people will be okay with this exhibit.
Sure. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to get back to the point, but I kind of got really excited about the boat.
The whole time I was like, I can't wait to see how she lands this thing. Another boat reference.
Hey.
I guess that's more of a docking
That's a
situation.
plane. A plane. Yeah.
That's a
I can't wait to
sky
see how
boat.
she docks this thing. Doesn't work as well.
Sky boat.
That's a sky boat for sure. A plane is a sky boat.
A
spaceship is a space boat. And remember earlier when you said SpaceX doesn't do anything? That's wrong. They explode. So just wanted to.
I was debating whether to
correction.
make an explosion joke or a do nothing joke. I went with the do nothing.
Do your
That's
research.
I'm just saying, hashtag get a boat stuck. Let's get it trending, folks. Hashtag get a boat stuck.
Do they still trend anymore?
Oh, you know.
Yeah,
Teachers being like,
trend.
I got stuck in the Strait of Hormuz.
And all I got was this stupid world peace.
Okay, well, before we move on to our big finish, a quick message to you, the listener. First of all, thanks for checking out the show. If you haven't already, feel free to use your app of choice to leave 5 stars, leave a review, and if for some reason you're not subscribed, of course, subscribe as well. Also, feel free to share our video clips, post about it on social media, tell a friend to check out the show. We're helping to grow this thing to be the biggest and best thing it can be, and you can be a huge help with that, and it costs you absolutely nothing, so thanks so much. If you do want to support us monetarily, you can do so at patreon.com/thebeaverton. There you will get an extended version of this episode every week. This week we dove into, bad choice of words, the Donald Trump pool story and the Washington, D.C. reflecting pool, and just kind of unpacked all the shenanigans, tomfoolery, and literal comic book villains that have factored into that story. Well worth the checkout. So feel free to do that at patreon.com/thebeaverton. And if you are a current Patreon member, please, first of all, thank you so much for subscribing. Well, that's all I want to say. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for keeping it going. And I also want to give a quick shout out to, I'm pulling it up, to Armatico, Kathy McNair, Rachel Moltner, and Alexandra Plezino. Probably not pronouncing that right, apparently. Those are some of our new Patreon supporters, as well as some of our OG supporters, Savannah G, John Reynolds, Brenda Matson, and Kim V. Thank you all for your support. Thank you so much, Patreon members. You are the reason we get to keep doing this, and we truly, truly appreciate it. And now it is time for the approximately 10-minute long quiz.
It's the approximately 10-minute long quiz. Brought to you by Time.
Every week I ask our panel to play the approximately 10-minute long quiz where I put their knowledge of some less widely reported stories to the test. Panel, your first question. Juneteenth is, of course, an American holiday where they mark the end of slavery in the United States. It's not a holiday in Canada, but it still gets a fair amount of attention here for very good reasons. How did Pierre Poilievre celebrate this auspicious occasion?
This is a trick. Because you know I'm going to say something like, well, he invented slavery too, and then someone's going to clip it, and I'm going to get canceled. This is a trick. I'm not playing this game. This is you figure it out.
But
Your job.
Okay, I mean, yeah, fair enough. I'll withdraw.
I was just going to say he spent Juneteenth probably talking about how bad the country is under Trudeau.
The real slavery was when we were all under Trudeau. No, it wasn't that bad. I'll give him that. He didn't actually say, things are worse here than slavery or anything like that. Does anyone know the real story?
Was this when he was in Vancouver and he talked about Mexico?
I don't know where he said it. No, it's not about
Okay,
Mexico.
then never mind. I don't know.
He complained about woke awareness months.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yikes.
He said,
Excuse me.
He said, I think there are so many months now that are dedicated to so many causes. It's kind of getting hard to keep track of which month is for which cause and for what group. He suggested there should be no more awareness months, and there should just be like a Veterans Day, and that's about it.
Well, that's a double dunk because it's also Pride Month, right? So he's a dual wielding shitheadery at that point.
Yeah, it's very much a wink and a nod and a not a subtle one to people who are very mad this time of year for absolutely no fucking reason. It doesn't affect you. Let people live their lives. God damn
Get it out of my sports.
Yeah.
Get it out.
I mean, you're pitching for the San Francisco Giants right now, currently, Claire?
Absolutely.
What? I just wrote a Bible verse on my hat. What does that have to do with anything? Well, why'd you write it on the Pride hat? Shut up.
Yeah.
This is not about that.
We planned this for weeks.
So I'm not a hateful person. I just wanted to let people know that I don't approve of their lifestyle right now. That is what Pierre Poilievre did. Is he complained about all these goddamn awareness months and having to think about things and people who have had bad times. And
Extreme loser.
Yes. All right. So no points on that one. Our next question: why was a photo of? Sorry, I should mention. Ford Fest was recently. It's Doug Ford's big celebration of being a Ford. I don't know. It sounds like a 10% off deal at a dealership, but it's not. It's a political event. But why was a photo of Ford Fest put out by Doug Ford's comms team met with controversy and accusations of propaganda?
I know, so.
Oh, you know?
I do.
I do too, and that there was an AI photo of him eating a hot dog that was too big, and then the hot dog council got mad because they can't make him that big.
Oh, that's the objection. The hot dog council.
The hot dog council got mad because he can't make them that big.
No.
Why would you even suggest that that's possible? No, we have to figure that out.
Not that it was a grotesque image. This is Doug Ford mouth agape with a giant wiener coming at him.
No. They don't know how to make it that big. They got mad.
What's great about this is that, like, they don't know how to make it. Like, it's not like animal product. You know what I mean? It's like it's a thing.
They put it in. They don't know how to make the tube that big.
I mean, hey, I guess tubes only would go to a certain size, wouldn't they?
Yes. Yeah, it's insane how big it was. It's crazy.
Claire, is that also your answer? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, word for word.
Yeah, okay. Hit me with the real answer, Claire.
So Ford Fest was essentially not taken over, but it had like several hundred protesters from the OPSCU, the union, who've been on strike for like a month. Over held back wages from Bill 124. And so they showed up, and I think they were in purple shirts, they had slogans, they were screaming at Ford and drowning out his speech was really funny. But anyway, they edited the picture, and it looks, allegedly, it looks like they turned all the purple shirts blue.
Yes.
And it basically just like to hide the fact that protesters were there at all.
Yeah, and make them look like supporters.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, 100% right.
And they were like, ooh, we're just color correcting the orange. That was what they said.
That was their claim. It was like there was an orange hue, so we had to desaturate the image. And as everyone knows, when you desaturate an orange hue, purple turns to blue.
Yes.
We all can agree on that. No one questioned that. I took photography classes. Shut up.
All of our followers are also Smurfs, and so if you say anything about that, you're kind of racist against Smurfs.
Yeah. They went on to say, like, this type of color correction is standard and routine practice. And it's like, all right, you don't need to get all haughty. I think everyone, like, you can lie, and we accept that you lie.
Yeah. It's not that big of a deal.
It's fine, but, like, don't get all haughty about the lie, you know what I mean? Just tell us our lie, we won't believe you, and we'll all move on with our lives.
Feed us our lie, Daddy Ford. Our daily lie.
Give us our obligatory lie.
Give us
bread.
This day our daily lie, and forgive us our trespasses.
I mean, yeah, that would be for us.
Give us our
trespasses against you.
And those who strike against us.
All right, point to Claire on that one. Next question. 2 people were arrested in Kentucky this past week after police found drugs in their bag. There was maybe something about the bag itself that might have tipped police off. What do you think it was?
I like to think that it was just a giant bag of cocaine.
It's just a clear bag seeing the cocaine?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Good guess.
I said the same thing. It was a dime bag, and it was, you could just see a little clutch, and in it was like a little tiny bit of drugs, and they were like, that's adorable. That is drugs, though. Please give us your wrists. We must cuff you. You know?
I like a cop saying that's adorable before he throws the cuffs on, you know?
That's why I'm not allowed to be a cop. I call everything adorable. I tried. I went to cop school.
I thought it was because you kept pissing in fountains and pools.
No, they liked that, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna
they
say,
thought that was great.
Yeah.
But they were like, this is not Hello Kitty world. Like, let's calm down.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you don't get your free Labubu until you're 5.
Boo. I'd go on strike for that.
Sadly, not a tiny little dime bag in plain view.
Okay.
You guys are sincerely not far off. Does anyone know the real story?
A medium-sized bag. Let's average it.
The bag was a specially labeled bag. It was stitched in the words, "Definitely not a bag full of drugs."
That's cute.
It was like, they were trying to be, it was like 2 cute by half.
Yeah.
Replacing 2 cute by half as an expression with smuggling drugs in a bag labeled "Definitely not a bag full of drugs" might work a bit longer.
Yeah.
Also, bold, like, I get it. They're trying to be like, no one will look in the bag labeled drug bag. But I get it. But like, if you're smuggling drugs, okay. It's like going up to a cop and making conversation to show you're not nervous, but it's like, all right. But especially when these people, not only were they smoking drugs, both of them had active warrants for their arrest.
Oh my God.
So really just putting your hand on the stove to see how hot you can get it and how much you'll get burned. But yeah, so that was the situation in Kentucky this week. Our last question. This is complete the headline. I'm going to read a headline. It's missing some words. You can fill it in for me. Ohio police retire their first ever robot cop after it
Attempts to reform the system?
You know what? Sort of.
I think I got it. It spends all its money on a one-way ticket to New York City, baby! The City of Angels! Watch out, New York! This death Roomba is gonna be in Little Shop! Hachi Machi! Broadway Dreams!
I want to live inside your brain for like 5 minutes.
So you didn't think it was enough to do that bit? You had to also label New York, Los Angeles' slogan.
What are you talking about?
City of Angels.
What are you talking? That's New York. The City of Angels. New York City, the City of Angels.
Yeah,
With the giant Golden Gate Bridge.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
New York actually translates to New City of Angels,
The
technically.
new, sorry.
In the Dutch.
The original City of Angels is
New City of
Berlin,
Angels.
right?
Yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
It's
yes.
that.
It was that.
And
it was
the
that.
apple represents the apple that Eve ate in the Garden of Eden.
And that's why women are not allowed in New York City.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. You learn something new on this podcast every week.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
We try and inform as well as entertain.
Yes.
I hope everyone's claptering at home. All right. Does anyone want to have... sorry to tell you that's not the real story. Does anyone know the real story?
I mean, I'm assuming it's because they wanted it to do something illegal.
No.
No? Okay.
No. I'll read the headline. Ohio police retired their robot cop after it made 0 arrests and issued 0 tickets after 10 months on the job.
Oh.
So it was, in a way, reforming the system through passive disobedience. So I kind of want to give you a point for that, Claire.
Or maybe it just lives in a really safe community.
Yeah. Or maybe, just a shot, it's not programmed right. Like, I like that they're like, well, it's clearly choosing to disobey as opposed to just like, this robot is bad
I
and
prefer to
poorly
look at it as
manufactured.
that this community is just very safe.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, the last thing it did say was, "A cab, bitch."
Yes.
Damn. It
yeah.
talks too? That's
Yeah.
crazy. It really could be in Little Shop. I'm just saying.
We need an abbreviation for Little Shop before.
Notice
It's
me,
just Little Shop. It's just Little Shop.
Little Shop.
Everyone, when they hear Little Shop, just thinks Little Shop of
Yeah.
Horrors. The
Feed
famous
me,
musical.
Seymour.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're definitely
Little Shop.
speaking to
RoboCop.
Middle America here.
RoboCop of Horrors does have a different energy to it than Little Shop. That implies some other things happen in that particular piece, doesn't it? You know? But I would watch it.
Yep.
Yeah, I would watch it. I'd get shot, but I would watch it. Yeah.
Well, at the end of our quiz, our winner, mostly through Megan, completely throwing the game, Claire Blackwood.
Hey, I got one legitimate point. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I probably, if in a tie break, I would have given you a point from that last one. But anyways, Claire, you've won absolutely nothing save for the right of first plug. What would you like people to know?
Hell yeah. I have a Patreon. Look up The Very Unfunny Leftists if you'd like to support independent Canadian political comedy. And that isn't the Beaverton. And then you can find me on YouTube at It's Claire Blackwood.
Awesome. Megan?
I'd be Skeeton Brother. I always say it every time. I'm Skeeton Brother. I'm on Blue Sky at MMMEGAN. And just for everyone's knowledge, I'm always going to throw that game. I do not want to win. I love it. I love being bottom of the leaderboard because you know what? Someday it's going to come around. all of these L's that I'm taking is going to turn into one W in a completely different area of my life because of karma. So I have to lose every week. So
I don't know if I've mentioned this to you. I think I've mentioned it on the show, which is that we've gotten so many requests on the Patreon from comments for you to host. And I'm like, part of me is like, I'm full for it, but I'm also like, it would be great, but I, as the booker, have to book people who would do to you what you do to me every week. And I don't know if that's people who would go crazier or just the most boring, normal people, and you're trying to get bits going, and they're just like, that's not the right answer.
I would love to kunk on Earth some geniuses. That would be pretty funny. That would be good. I also would love to torture you guys by being like, guess what? I didn't read the news this week. We're just going to talk about what I care about. Labubus, K-pop, right. K-beauty, the fact that I parked kind of illegally 10 minutes ago. Like, that is it. That's going to be the show.
Okay, so I think you know why I'm not going to say yes to that, Patreon members. When someone tells you who they are, believe them.
Come on.
All right. Well, one last plug is subscribe to the Beaverton newsletter, beaverton.com/newsletter. Get the best of the Beaverton delivered to your inbox every Sunday, unless I'm on holiday or forget. Thank you so much for checking out the show. Talk to you next week.
The Beaverton Weekly Report is produced by Andrew Rivamy in partnership with the From Superheroes Network. Visit FromSuperheroes.com to hear more great podcasts like this.